practically the whole people. It has been estimated that in the course of 15 years, from 1800 to 1815, Napoleon raised about 2 million conscripts in France alone, about 7% of the total population. Little wonder that the population growth in France fell dramatically, resulting in a relative decline of its population throughout the 19th century, at a time when England, Germany and Prussia were having their largest population explosion ever. Originally, the nation in arms had risen to defend the revolution against the threat of a royalist restoration and of the elimination of the social and civic rights secured in 1789. It did not matter that, in point of fact, it was the revolutionary government that had declared war to forestall the coalition of Austria, Prussia, Russia and England. The very success of France in driving back the armies of the monarchical alliance from its soil and in pursuing them beyond the borders created the conditions for a messianic drive to carry the message of liberation from the old order beyond what, since Richelieu's times, had been claimed as the natural frontiers of France, and the installation of sister republics, Batavian in today's Belgium, Helvetian, Cisalpine in northern Italy, etc. Although it defeated its continental enemies, Republican France could not subdue England, whose implacable enmity under the leadership of Pitt the Younger precluded the recognition and security of the changes, both domestic and foreign, wrought by the Revolution since 1789. At least, this is the way it was seen and interpreted at the time by both sides. England would not acquiesce to French control of the estuary of the Rhine and of the Belgian coast, and continued to organise and subsidise continental coalitions against France. In addition, Pitt and his government believed that a reinvigorated France might pose a threat to England's colonial empire and trade routes, especially in the eastern Mediterranean. Their belief seemed to be confirmed in 1798 by General Bonaparte's attempt to conquer Egypt and the coast of what is today Syria and Lebanon, and to disrupt England's eastern trade. Bonaparte's rhetoric and aborted negotiations with Emperor Paul I of Russia about striking at England in India did not contribute to making English policy more accommodating and pacific. As a result, all treaties of peace concluded between France and the other powers in the last decade of the 18th and the first years of the 19th centuries proved to be only truces to be broken at the first opportunity. Napoleon had seized power to extricate France from the domestic difficulties that had been brought about by the mismanagement of the Directory, to consolidate the gains of the Revolution, and to enhance its glory, as well as his own, by securing, and if possible expanding, the territorial acquisitions of the new French social and political order. Such a double goal could not but bring about a self-fulfilling prophecy of ever-renewed coalitions and wars, and new territorial conquests stubbornly rejected by England. Napoleon succeeded in defeating Austria, Prussia, and Russia, but Nelson's victory at Trafalgar precluded any serious French naval challenge and ensured that England would fight on and subsidise continental allies, so that Napoleon never achieved the military and diplomatic security he craved. Napoleon's military genius brought victory and ever-new conquests on the continent, and war lasted with short-term breathing spells from 1799 to his failure in Russia in 1812, and final defeat in 1814 to 1815. In 1806, following the defeat of the Third Coalition at Austerlitz, the Holy German Empire of the Germanic nation, in existence since the 10th century, was dissolved by its emperor Francis II, who was also ruler of the Habsburg lands. In its stead, Napoleon created the Confederation of the Rhine, which in fact was a French satellite encompassing the German states with the exclusion of Austria and Prussia. The major states of the Confederation, Württemberg and Westphalia, were promoted to kingdoms, Württemberg keeping its ruler, while Westphalia, a new creation carved out from former sovereign principalities and Prussian lands, received, as king, Napoleon's younger brother, Jérôme. Most important in our context, the various states of the Confederation had to furnish troops to be raised through a system of conscription similar to that of France. In the war of 1807 to 1809 against Austria, Prussia and Russia, contingents from these newly created kingdoms, promised significant territorial benefits after victory, fought on the side of